Alright, welcome back. We are going to show you a few things today. On the screen you have the Mapper Administration window, which correlates to this icon here. We are going to do a few things simultaneously. Another advantage that you'll learn is to have multiple screens open that you can do multiple things with. Comes very handy as you learn how to do many things. You'll feel like, oh, well, this is busy, I'd like to accomplish something else. And so here what we're going to do is expand the size of the database, because I've been adding more data and we need a space for it. So what you want to do is make sure the system is down, because nobody can be using it. So you're going to stop it, and this sends out an alert to each person that's on the system. You can see windows closing behind me. And the next step is to, as long as we're here under this window where we did a stop, you can also load a specific application. You can do the entire backup of all of your databases. You can verify a specific backup media. There'll be more things we'll cover here later. This particular start right here is if you're having any problems, if you see any red messages, which we'll address in this video as well. You would do this particular start with initialization to assist in those problems. And some problems you may need to reach out to an expert like myself, but it's very rare to have problems that you can't solve by yourself. And problems in general are very rare to begin with. So underneath the database file, we're going to add a database, and it's automatically going to make it the next number 5. And what we want to put in here, because, well, what you can do, sometimes I forget over the years, if you just enter a number that is like this, it'll tell you what the limits are. So it's saying the largest you can do and the smallest you can do. So we're going to go ahead and do something similar to this. This would be easier to remember if we simply went 3, 5, 6. Okay, and the rest we'll leave as default. Oh, it's saying 5 already exists, so we'll up it to 6. And you need to have enough space on your hard drive and create enough room otherwise. Okay, what this means is there's not enough disk space to create another database file. The file we're creating is approximately 1.5 gigabytes, and so we need to make some space, which I've already got started here. And while that completes, we will cover another topic of the several that we'll do in this video. So, okay. I wanted to talk briefly about help. There's several ways to get help. Here is the Business Information Server help, and this will cover everything from walking and running, run scripts as well as manual functions. You can also access this right through Mapper by typing help space whatever you're looking for, and this will come up. So there's a variety of ways you can use this help and learn how to use the system beyond what I'm teaching you. You can also save your setup, which is going to save your font style, your modifications that you can make to how this interface operates. We'll see this take effect when we actually sign in to the system, but you can increase the font size, for example. Alright, Now let's, okay, now that the delete making enough space has finished, we will try this again, adding the next database file for nearly 1.5 gig. This is going to roll off the percentages complete. It will take about 7 to 10 minutes to do this size. And while this is running, we can look at a few other things in the background. So what we're going to be doing today is learning how to import a spreadsheet, also known as a flat file, and then we're going to use a program. In IT terminology, we're going to parse the flat file. So the flat files are preloaded under here, flat files. Okay, and there's a whole variety of them that I've been working with. Testing the parsing, make sure that it handles all sorts of different types of data. Let's open up one of these and take a look at it in a spreadsheet. Now, of course, from Mapper we can take a spreadsheet in and we can export Mapper data back out as well. Let's just take a look at this sample data right here. There's many that I found on the internet. Some I'm building unique systems for, demonstration systems. That might take a minute to open. Oh, this one's smaller. Some of these files have 10, 30,000 lines. I've seen a couple with 100,000. Okay, let's check on our progress. We're 50% complete, so this may only take 5 or 6 minutes. Okay. Okay, that just finished. One of the things I want to point out too, I have a lot of stuff running on this desktop, a lot of cool objects, but I want to demonstrate that even though there's a lot of activity and we're throttling, very high, near 80–90%, you're going to see that Mapper still operates extremely fast in a few of the things that we're going to demonstrate. So, coming back to we opened up Gun Defenders twice. Okay, we could use this data as a sample. We might do a couple different. I don't want it to be too long. Some 10, 20, 30,000 lines might take to fully parse it all in 7 to 10 minutes. So we're going to work with something much smaller. This one here, 1,300 lines as an example. So coming back to opening up, there we go, the graphical user interface. Now that we have to start Mapper before we can sign into it. And so this is completed. These are the total number of bytes that have been utilized to set up this database, and now we can go ahead and do a start. And this will just take a couple seconds, frankly, maybe less than 30. Initializing all of the demonstration data that we have. This section right here, there's millions of RIDs and millions of lines of data. Each one of those represents a drawer in cabinet 86 that just finished. And going to go much faster after. This is another million reports, this section right here, and then it'll finish the rest much quicker. There we go. So I have many systems developed in here for demonstration purposes. And there we go, we're done. Okay. I've turned off auditing. We can address that in a later video. Initialization complete, which is what you want to see. So now we can go ahead and sign in. Open session. One thing I wanted to mention about this, I can automate this so it'll fire off one of these completely, but these let me go into different systems. I can, through the internet, go into other mapper systems that are around the world that I've been given permission to go into, or if I have multiple systems running for a bigger business, you can choose which one you want to sign into. So this is signing directly into the PC version. Okay, here's the error thing I was talking about. If you see something in here, critical error, it's going to give more information in the event log. Auditing's been turned off. Startup error, this notices the user if anything's going on, as well as the administrator, the coordinator. Again, everything's going to function properly. This doesn't affect the use. This is just an alert. It could also mean to your user that the system might be coming down, and you can send a message to everybody that it may be coming down and state the period, maybe for 10 minutes, let's say. Okay, for the sake of this demonstration, we're going to exit to the old native environment. Here we have the bigger font that I was talking about selected, so we can actually, like if we displayed any old red, everything's bigger. Now we're going to address the fact that some of this is going to be different than what yours says, because in Mapper I can modify everything. In fact, when we're sitting here looking at this environment has all been programmed in Mapper. Every single aspect of this has all been designed and can be modified because it's all written in Mapper. And so I've made things easier. You can get file. This is also, if you type PCX in the home position, it's a quicker way to bring this up. PCX and the enter or transmit key. So for the sake of this demonstration, we've talked about the flat files, which I'm going to go on and find here. Drilling down in, I will pick the one that we were just looking at. Open, and I want it to specifically come into a drawer, an area that has enough space to handle any length, because each one of these drawers is different lengths. And so I'm going to go to the demo section there, zooming by it, and choose this, which is 1,000 characters long. Okay, and there we go. And now we're going to replace this. Well, we could run it against the result. It says result, and in my case I chose to have the color of results be different. This is not a hard report. The RID is considered to be -0 in this case. It doesn't exist unless I save it. I've created a parse with a yes, a program that parses yes, shows us the progress so we can analyze how it's doing, and it's going to build a work grid that is establishing the field length. This would, I'm hitting resume so I can analyze. This looks pretty good. Looks like everything's in order, and it's going to determine how many fields we have, and there it is, done. And so now it's going to roll it out. And I don't know, I didn't check how many lines of data were in that file, but this is a sample of it parsing it and rolling it out. I'll probably, okay, so there we go, right at the top, working line 34 of 462, so that wouldn't take very long. If we choose to do this again, which I think I'll interrupt this and do it again without the display that analyzes visually, what we'll do is run it without that, and it'll run much faster. So I'm going to hit the escape key, which aborts any program that's running. Usually one tap will do it. If not, a multiple tap will cause the program to abort. We're going to prepare this and bring it in again. This flat file, interesting data, report to Congress on the White House staff, which I found online, and it's pointing at the one that we locked into before. So now we're going to parse it without the comma yes, which indicates go ahead and do the display. The default is no. So it already determined everything, and now it's processing. It's not going to show you the writing that it was doing. It's going to run until it's done on the 400 plus lines. So it's very easy to bring your data in from other databases, and then what you learned in previous videos was how to set up your headers. And so you would have either prepared that place where you can add this data when it's done, or here we are, we're done. Okay. I didn't prepare one for this, but let's say that oh, I see something caused, perhaps it was this junior, so we would have to manually adjust this. No big deal. So if I was to of this, and it's going to ask me where do you want it, I'm going to put it in I. What do you want to call it? I'm going to call it White House. Okay, and transmit, and there we go, we've saved it. It's in, what do you want to call it? I'm going to call it White House. Okay, and transmit, and there we go, we've saved it. It's in 31I. And again, the reason that I like these fast access things up here, I don't, as a new user, have to remember all the commands. Like for example, E is for end. Now we're at the end of the report. B is for beginning. We're at the beginning of the report. By the way, this line here is indicating the headers. Typically it is. We're going to remove that line. The way that you manipulate the report, you put your cursor within. We're going to remove this one also, which is off. You hold down the control and you hit the minus sign. If you want to add a line, you say where you want to add it and you hit the plus sign. Oops, I wanted to do it here, so I'm going to go ahead and hit the minus on this one, and I'm going to create the headers for this single report. This header will not be for all of the drawer, which is when you were learning how to set up a drawer. This is simply going to be for this report. So what I might do, now I've transmitted beyond the length. This was not a 1,000 character one. Let's check something. LZ minus 0 tells me line 0 information. This one is only 80 characters because I'm in cabinet 2. So what I wanted to do was cabinet switch to 0, and then I would have been in the experimental report here where I've got all my other examples that we were working on. Parse data. I can double click, so here's another one that we could run and it would parse it out. Now I can simply hit return down at the bottom, function key 4. I can come back into this table of contents. This is the old look and feel table of contents. There are ways to, index take a look in the new look. If there was more than this window would hold, there'd be a scrolling bar over here that I can roll with my mouse and select what I want to see. Just pick one of these. I can also hit the delete down here at the bottom. Oops, I went too far down. I can delete this report. I can do various things. I can update this data just by jumping directly into it. And like I was doing before, I was beginning to set up the headers. But once you type what you want and transmit, from the point, you see we didn't clear it out to the end, because when you transmit, it takes from the cursor back to the start of entry character here, and everything is updated and saved. So that would accomplish that. Now going back to 31I, and it was in cabinet 2, so we simply put the designator like this and transmit, and now we're back to the one that we were working on, even though it's been truncated. And if I wanted to move it, so we're using a couple of the different functions now to show you how easy it is to get around. Move plus indicates this is a utility that was written by one of the mapper developers, and now we can say that we want to move this particular report down to I, and we can have it directly replace a report that we had in mind. It's not going to automatically create one, so I'm going to put it into 2, which is one that we were working with previously in our development. So it says it's overwritten it. It will overwrite it. Yeah, I do want to overwrite it. And so it says further, we're taking an 80 character one. We know it was truncated into a nearly 1,000 character one. Yes, I wish to proceed. And it has moved one report. And so now, if we take a look at 2I, there's the data, and again we could add more lines in here by hitting, if we were to draw this down like this and hit a plus sign with the control, we're going to add that many lines. I could hit the control and put the D, which duplicates that line down, control E, which is erase to end the line. You'll learn all these. There's also some indication of help when you hit here. You can see, it'll remind you. And control E, and so here we would be very quickly just making the headers. What is this? Last name, much like we did in the first demonstration. First name, middle initial, obviously, but we'll just keep this clean and simple, and a field that indicates what they're doing for the amount of money that they were making, and it's on an annual basis. Okay, we'll just leave it like this for the sake of this demonstration, and now we can highlight that, control minus, and by the way, if I hold down the enter key, which is our transmit key, it'll roll through the data very quickly. Again, I can say roll plus. I can say roll plus at the top or the bottom here. I can say roll backwards. I can say go to the middle. I could shift over if there happens to be, 900 more characters, let's say. We can, these other features, by the way, let me locate within the report. I can find a particular name. How about John? And there's a John, and now I can hit next down at the bottom, or resume, which is a continue at the top. No more finds. It'll walk through the data, finding them. Just giving a couple quick overview of the manipulation. So this is like a smart sheet in the sense that it has many built-in functions and features that can be even automated and become as intelligent as you like. I'm just going to hit B for top, E for end. These are, I didn't transmit B for top. One of the things that I did ended up with the cursor here. You got to make sure what you're sending in is truly what you intend to send in. Because if I said BI and transmit, it's going to tell me that's no good. If I type L, by the way, it'll bring back the control line. So today we're looking more at the manual, old look and feel of Mapper, which I feel that if you get familiar with it, it's going to be even faster. But you can flip back to the GUI where you can do things like paging up and down. You can lock the data so you can update it and nobody else will update it. You can put your position in here that you wish to add. You must have update control. So now it's going to lock it. And how many lines do I want to add? 3. This is similar to the things that we were just doing in the other look and feel. This look and feel will help you in remembering the types of features that you can do, the power tools that you can do, whether it be sorting, searching, filtering, calculating, etc. On this data. So here we'll just demonstrate again. Let's say I want to delete how many lines? 3 lines. Okay. And when I unlock this, now other people can update this. This data, assuming it was built into your database in all the appropriate ways, is real live data. And so other people could be looking at it and updating it. Okay. Let's see what else for today. List. Next. This just, if I keep hitting this, it's going to go through each report that I have in this drawer. And these are like sheets on a spreadsheet where you would be able to flip through them at the bottom. But all of this data can be interconnected. This is maybe not the best example. If we cabinet switch down to 0, make sure we're in 0. If you hit T and transmit, by the way, it gives you this drawer select. There's several ways that you can do this table of contents and move through your data. But what I wanted to demonstrate very quickly is in, let's see, B, I believe, no, yeah, here. So here we have nearly 1 million lines of data, and this is where I might give you a quick test to show you how fast this can operate. We can go ahead and take a look at this data, and we can also, I'm transmitting or hitting the F1 function key down here at the bottom, and I'm walking right through this data. It says that there's a total of 26 rids out here, and each time I display this, it shows me how long it is. So what I could do is I could search this entire drawer. I just type in S and transmit, and I want to find a representative by the name of JIL. Maybe those are her initials. And so what I did is I just searched 13G itself, and I found every occurrence, 21,000 out of 35,000. But I could actually search through the whole drawer as well, which would be almost 1 million lines, I believe it'll tell us. Let us search range 1 through 26 for report range of JIL. There we go. Yeah, it went through 944,000 lines and found every occurrence of Jill. We can hit E to pop down to the end. We can also scroll through it by holding down the key, the enter key. It goes very quickly all the way to the end of this data. Or we can go to the beginning. We had 57,000 lines. Bring me to the middle of it, because then I want to start strolling through 20 lines at a time looking for something. However, when I choose the locate, I can go and find every instance of pane. Let's say I want to modify the price on pane. There's multiple array of ways that I can accomplish that, but this is just showing you some of the report manipulation. I could start looking from the top because I was in the middle. There's the first occurrence from the top on line 27. And when I'm done with this report, I can copy it with the XR function, or I can duplicate it here. Duplicate report right here. And title of the report, yeah, we'll just let it be the first line that it found, and now we've saved. There's a limitation on how big the reports can be in this drawer. I cannot create a 944,000 line report. Now I could set it up to do that, but Mapper is best when you, like we had 26 reports in the case of a database spread out more shallow. We would have all the Andersons in red 1 for the A's and Zimmerman's in 26 for the Z's. So this is saying no, we're not going to let you save that huge file. I want to keep these videos short.